Hello everyone. Right, well I hope everybody is well and keeping safe during this pandemic and also keeping busy. Now what you're seeing in front of you there is my new hobby workshop which I've recently fitted out, and before I give you a tour of it, I just thought I'd add that we know this house is just over 200 years old and quite rural, and that we learned that during its life it was a coaching inn, and I've figured out that this here would have been a passageway, and the window at the end there I think was probably the front entrance door to the pub, and then of course you'd have walked down this passageway to the public rooms. But anyway, it's now my little hobby workshop. Just got to also add, although I'm not a professional maker anymore, but when I was in my previous workshop, which was somewhat larger than this one, the main bench that I used to work off in the old workshop was actually bigger than this room. That bench there was also in the workshop, which I made many years ago. So, right, I shall walk forward and, firstly, yeah, that's the original floor there, look, and you've got an old timber threshold there. There's the old frame tie, which is probably oak. There's quite a few oak beams around the building, but so yeah, this workshop, it's totally organised, totally tidy, completely functional, and I will be making things out of it. I've already got a project to start for Sue and myself, but anyway, let's step up into the man cave. So firstly, what I'm going to show you is, again, when I was a professional, I had various wood samples that I would take with me onto a lead to show clients. They're mainly hardwood, and instead of them being shut away, I thought I'd bring them out and put them on display and make a feature of, you know, the backstand of the workbench. So I'll just give you a quick commentary run on these. So that bit there, is it going to focus? Yeah, we've got you've got two sliding bevels there with ebony handles. But so you've got a piece of ash there. Moving along, the light piece of timber is maple, rock maple in fact. Then you've got wild cherry there. Moving along a bit more, that's a beautiful African hardwood called wenge. Absolute pleasure to work with. There you go. This piece of timber running along through here is American black walnut. You've got American black walnut at the back there again. Calculator. Right, that is ebony. A lot of people imagine ebony to be jet black. It's not. You have veins of black in it. It's generally dark brown. Again, American black walnut below that. Moving along, you've got bird's eye maple. Okay. Rosewood, satin wood, I think that's Padouk. You've got teak there, whoopsie daisy, excuse me, ash again. I can't remember what this one is, it's part of the mahogany family. You've got kingwood there, you've got sapele there, maple again there. Behind the mallets here, let's just move that out of the way, Honduras mahogany. In the corner there you've got beech, mother of the forest they used to call it. And then you've got a couple of burr panels here, which is oak. Oh, hang on a minute, just move that. So that's like a bookend, so they're actually in symmetry. So that's burr oak with a piece of oak there. That's also a piece of oak, and you've got various grain pins which would conceal screws, but also to make a feature of them. So at the top you've got, I think it's walnut, and then you've got maple, then you've got rosewood and oak down at the bottom, which you can, if I go in closer, you can just see it there. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, and of course up here, this is the only softwood sample I've got up here, which is that, and that's yew. Technically very hard, biologically a softwood. Right, and a poppy there, yeah, and a poppy. Right, I'll just put the mallets back. So the actual width of my workshop is 4 foot. Wow. And you've got a window there. This was where I think the front door was, which is basically the centre of the building as well. So from the outside you'd have had horses and coaches arriving back in the, when that would have been, early 1700s. So okie dokie, at this end here we've got a series of bench planes which I've yet to clean up. Before we moved up here they were stuck in a garage for 18 months and they've got a bit rusty. This one here I've had since I was 16. It's a wooden trying plane made of beech, and then we got a metal trying plane, we got a jack plane, block plane, smoothing plane, and a maker's carriage plane. These planes vary. I'm going to do it once they're cleaned up. I'm going to do a separate commentary on these because they're beautiful pieces of tool, and they range. I mean, a couple of those are 90 years old, 100 years old. Okay, a couple of spoke shaves there, panel saws and tenon saws there, regiment of G clamps up through there. Right, moving along, chisels, you've got your marking and mortise gauges there. Look, one of those is rosewood. This set of chisels here I bought probably 5 years ago. Narex, they're great chisels, firmer chisels. And then these ones are really old ones through here, mixture of firmer and beveled edge. And then these 3 chisels here are probably 150 plus years old. They're mortise chisels by Isaac Greaves. Okay, the little screwdriver station. And then we've got some more little planes up here. That's a little bull nose plane, rabbit plane, the old mother's tooth or little router plane. There's another 95 year old carriage maker's plane, rosewood square. Right, now then I'm going to pan round here, and I've also put a shelf up here, look. So I've got some power tools there. I've got my cordless drills up there. They're all used, various applications. And I was thinking, I did sell a lot of stuff when I moved out of the old workshop, a lot of machinery and such like. Hand tools I kept. I did keep some power tools, and this one here I wouldn't part with, and I did actually, sacrilege, think about selling it, and I thought, no way. Of course, actually you can't really see it very well. And it's the Mercer sander. Let me just drop this blind down, and then there you go. Mercer sander, fabulous piece of kit. Very expensive. It's got its own dust extraction, which I've looped up through there, suspended off the ceiling, across the workshop, and then down into this record dust extractor, which is a twin motor, 2000 watt, very powerful, does the job. And I absolutely love that shade of green as well. Oh, and I've got my router still down here, which I probably won't use. It has been heavily used, and that's part of the sander as well. So it's all rigged up. I've got cable in here. I've even cleaned the copper pipes. Look at that behind. See? How about that for OCD? Little screw store up there, varnishes, etc. up through there. S-wing hammer. You've probably heard of an S-wing hammer. Well, that's a wooden S-wing hammer. Needs a clean. Normally you can almost see your face in the head of the hammer. So, right, not much to show you really. Oh, yes there is. A little bit more. I'm just going to pull this blind up again. By the way, this video is completely unedited. There's Sue's car outside. I've got a horrible little job to do on that tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. So coming back the other way, yeah, this old bench here, it's got a record quick release clamp vice in it. Nice apron on, nice straight apron on the side of the bench. And then down here I've got another shelf that I put up just for storage really. That old tool bag, carpenter's tool bag, is full up with little offcuts of timber. And then up here, this is my ore stone box. Quite a hefty looking thing. It's oak and mahogany. And that I can unhook off the wall. And you've got 2 grades of stone in there for sharpening chisels and plane irons, etc. Right, now then, project. Oh yeah, I was going to show you this plane here. Now this plane, this is a panel plane, and it's anything between 150 and 200 years old. The wood insert is rosewood. I bought it many years ago with the purpose of restoring it, and I haven't got round to restoring it yet, so that's another job on the list during lockdown possibly. Now then, if this was made by a particular Scottish maker, Stuart, can't remember his surname, that plane would be worth about £1,000. But unfortunately, the maker's name isn't on the plane. Anyway, nevertheless, still a nice plane. Probably still worth a couple of £100, I should imagine. Very heavy. Right, now then, project. So, at the end of this video, you'll see a few photographs of a project Sue and myself have designed for me to make here. And it's basically a sideboard. And I'm going to be making it out of teak, which I think is about 60 years old. Some pine, which is from my mum and dad's house, and it's probably 82 years old. And some oak construction veneer, which is only a few years old. Anyway, it's going to be very modern. It's mainly Sue's design. And the teak, yeah, you'll see the photos at the end of this. But I've actually cut a piece down here. Haven't planed it up yet, so I don't actually know what the grain's like. But here's a part of the end grain to give you an idea. And it looks absolutely lovely. Look at that. That looks lovely. Yeah, here's some of it there. Look, and here's some more offcuts of the teak. There's a little bit of mahogany in there as well. But at the moment, it's all under the bench. But like I say, you'll see the photos at the end of this video and the design, and then I'm going to do a work in progress report on it as well. Well, I actually start making it, I don't know, but the plan is that I'm going to start making it while we're in lockdown, and who knows, I might even finish it. So that's about it, chaps. The new workshop. Let's hope beautiful things come out of it. Thanks a lot. Cheers for now. Okay, stay safe. Oh, yeah, I've got a series of hats. I'm a bit of a hat connoisseur. And I've been thinking about creating a string of hat hooks or a hat rail up on that top wall. And because I've recently bought myself a second-hand boater hat, which I'm going to show you. But the trouble is, here we go, hanging up here, look. Oh, yes, what a beauty. And I think boater hats should be pronounced with a Geordie accent. Ah, it's me boater hat, me boater. Anyway, there he is. Hello, boy. So that's it. This is the dining room, by the way. Workshop is off the dining room. And yeah, I've probably rambled on far too much. Bye for now. Stay safe, keep well, and keep busy. Cheers, guys.